Good afternoon, Jason Phillips from Appraise doing an inspection today on a 1972 Ford Bronco. Getting ready to take it outside, take it for a drive. Just finished up shooting a couple hundred photos of it and getting up underneath it and taking some notes so we can go over it for the prospective buyer. This vehicle, the inspection was conducted because someone wanted to purchase this vehicle. If you are watching this video, it's a good chance that you're seeing it after the potential buyer has already reviewed his video and seen it, purchased it, or seen it and passed. So often people will leave feedback, hey, how much? And the video is shot with the intention of the original purchaser who hired us to look at the vehicle for his review only, and then later for public review. So if you need service like this, 800-301-3886. Jason Phillips from Appraise. I'm in Michigan today. But we got 300 inspectors. We can go anywhere. Quick look under the engine bay since I've got the hood open. We've got a repainted small block motor, repainted probably in the vehicle, and pleasant and presentable from a distance. The oil is due for a change. It's about a half a quart higher than it needs to be. Black textured paint slash undercoat and whatnot have been applied to the engine bay in various locations. Alternator's been repainted. Hoses have been changed on the radiator. Bypass hose looks a little bit original. Most all of the original wiring is intact. Non-power steering, non-power brakes unit. We've got a release cable cut there, and a few miscellaneous wires from the years that have been probably deleted and replaced. Still underneath the vehicle. We'll fire it up. I've got a vacuum tree here missing two vacuum lines. Don't know if those are going to need to be capped off or not. Newer replacement carburetor, aftermarket air cleaner lid. Antifreeze was full and green, looked pretty good. Nothing much in the overflow tank. Radiator course appears to be in good shape. Battery seems to be holding up no problem. I'm going to cold start the engine in a minute. Going to drop the hood down here. Radiator's at 59, 60. The body's at 60. The engine's at 64, so 63. So it hasn't run really to speak of yet. The body's got a driver quality respray on it. Stripes added. A little bit of darker marks on the stripes in various locations. I don't know if somebody got some compound on them and hasn't been cleaned off yet. A little bit of contact chippage in between the top and the back of the box. But generally speaking, the fit and finish is appropriate, nothing too outlandish. A little bit of sag in these door bushings, but it will slam and close. We've got a chip and a chip there. Small chip on the rain gutter up here. A little bit of various contamination on the hood. A couple fish eyes and a little bit of shrinkage, difficult to tell. Little circle in the hood here that kind of shrunk back. And just a little bit of contamination. Probably was not shot in a booth, but kind of a nice home style paint job. Window frames here were repainted on the vent windows in place. I don't think those were pulled. Belt sweeps appear to be original. Door handles were painted over, some pitting noted, and the locks were painted over. Those could be cleaned up a little bit. That door has just a little bit of a protrusion, but opens and closes pretty decently. couple nicks down low on the rocker panel and here on the edge of the sill. The wheels have been repainted, and there's some general age and pitting seen in the finish, but they look presentable from a short distance. These are older tires, and these are going to need to be replaced. They've got some dry cracking and some age in the tread pattern, so they're pretty old. They're pretty old. The truck seems to sit pretty level on the ground. The bumper could possibly stand to be, adjusted a little bit to the driver's side, a little bit that way. We'll get up underneath the truck and take a look at it here in a minute. Under the front end, there's a textured bed liner undercoat material that's been applied to the suspension and frame rails and wheel wells throughout, as you can see. The left core support bushing has been changed there. Has a newer washer and bolt in it. And over here on the passenger side, core support bushing, that too has been changed, and it looks like a bracket has been added to the outside of the frame rail extension to accommodate mounting that core support. So the location of that is somehow moved over the years, and not sure why that is. Some repair panels noted up into the wheel well structure there. Underneath detail, everything was kind of done in black, including the bottom of the engine block. Sitting here for 3 hours now, there's only just a little drip of oil there, which looks like it might be likely coming from the rear main seal. Nothing pouring out of the transfer case, nothing too abnormal there. Up underneath the floor supports on the driver's side, there's some deterioration in that first floor support just past the firewall and along up in the inner rocker structure there. Let's see what the other side looks like. Another side looks better. Newer dual aluminized exhaust all the way to the back end. The wear on the tire tread pattern might be indicative beyond the dry cracking there that front end alignment is due, or perhaps some rebuild of the suspension due to the worn inside edges of the tires. That condition is alive and well on both sides. I'm down underneath the driver's side rocker panel, and some older repairs have been made. You can see there, and a little bit of existing rust there and along the floor to the tub connection. The floor pans otherwise look really stout, except for what was previously pointed out there 30 seconds back, a minute back, and you can see a couple repair patches up there on the inner rocker structure. And some along the wheel tubs up there. So there you have it. Stable driver quality underbody with some previous repairs and some previous rust. Ford 9-inch axle housing is in good shape. Springs may be original. Backing plates, everything's been repainted. Gas tank's been repainted, don't smell any gas leaking, so that's a bonus. Didn't see anything too unusual under the back end of there. Some wire nut repairs have been made up underneath the backside, possibly going to the taillights. Truck seems to sit pretty nice and level and straight. Just a slightly larger gap here than there is here. Inside the vehicle, the rear gate's in good shape. These latches need a little bit of lubrication and addressing. When it closes down, it doesn't quite reach in there and hold tight. This one's latching and no problems at all. Needs to be adjusted out 1/4 of an inch and it'll catch just fine. Gate works. I'll not drop it back down again, but the edges of the gate are in really good shape. There's no rust or decay really to be seen. And the seats have been recovered in a white vinyl with some red piping. Looks nice with the color of the paint. Electric wipers you can see up there mounted above the windshield. I think 72 was the first year for electric wipers. I'm not positive about that. Some Bronco guys might want to comment. There, I decided I better open up that gate. But as you can see, it's in nice shape. Some remnants of some blue paint there maybe. Carriage bolts need to be secured that are holding this seat in place. All of the glass has original car light markings on it, save for the windshield maybe, and all of it's in decent driver quality shape. A few general scratches and marks. Windshield doesn't have any major bullets in it. The door glasses both roll up and down as they should. A few little scratches and whatnot in the glass. Windshield's in pretty good shape. I don't think that's a bullet. That's a dead bug. All right, we'll fire it up. I didn't finish showing the front of the interior, but it's basically a match to the condition as you were looking in the rear of the vehicle. Dash was repainted. We have an original gauge face and lens, just some light age noted. Steering wheel cap is showing some pitting and whatnot, and the shifter knob is missing here. A little bit of age in this original steering wheel. How about a little better light? Okay. Oil pressure gauge appears to be coming up. Alternator's charging. Don't see any gas registering yet. Looks like we may not be going far. And the temp is at the base. We'll see if that starts climbing up, but we're getting up to about 30 to 40 pounds of cold oil pressure. I'm having to feather the gas a little bit. Keep it going. Let's see. Okay. Idling at probably about 600 or 700 Rs. All right, let me back it up. Outside we've got headlights and bright lights. These are brand new turn signal lamps that have been put in. I noticed the ground wires are not connected, so I'm guessing that is why they're not operating. Turn signals and brake lights are operating from the back end, no problem. Side marker lights are all working. Brake lights are working. Reverse lights are, I'll check them one more time. But I didn't get any reverse lights earlier. Turn signal wise, I've got interior turn signal flashing there. And I can hear it clicking, but I've got no light on the dash. Wipers are 2-speed and they're working as they should. We're gonna maybe need them today. It just quit raining. Fan blower is in op, and the horn is in op. Engine may have just a little bit of a shake to it. Let's take it down the road. Just got out to lock the hubs. The front driver's seat adjustment knob is missing, and I can't seem to get the seat to move forward and backward. I'm not sure if it's permanently affixed or not. May have to be looked at. It's a difficult one to drive and shift and hold the camera, but I'm doing my best. We're in 4 low right now. Gas gauge has not come up. Temperature is starting to come up. That rattle you hear in the back is probably the tailgate not fastened in. You can definitely feel the 4-wheel drive pulling. And the shifter will go in a second. Just going to run it through the paces. There's a little bit of play in this steering column bushing. And there's third gear, and you can definitely hear the transfer case working. I got the 4-wheel drive shifter to work a little earlier, but right now it's acting a bit stiff. Somebody might need to get under there and give it some lubrication and adjustment on the linkage. Okay. Alright, so there we have it. Just back from the test drive. I'm going to let it pause the camera here and let it run for another 5 or 10 minutes and just see what we've got for temperature. Overall, it's a nice little beachcomber, driver quality truck. Some mechanical freshening to the linkage to get it in and out of 4-wheel drive, get the shifter operating as intended is going to be needed. And other than that, a little bit of age noted in the underbody, but it's probably been that way for a long time, and it'll probably live another 10 years that way anyway. So we got some age showing in the glass. We're going to need some tires and a little bit of sanding and cleanup work on the wheels would be nice. Give it a little nicer presentation. A few scratches in the glass, but again, presentable, just a mid-range driver quality unit. Jason Phillips from Auto Appraise, finishing up an inspection, pre-purchase inspection on a 1972 Ford Bronco. The client's going to receive about 200 plus photos and the results of this video and general information that shows that what the vehicle is. If you need inspection service like that, feel free to call us and we'll get you quoted out anywhere in the country. Thanks. I cover all of Michigan here if you need a video service like this, and some surrounding areas in Indiana, Ohio, and up into Canada. Thanks again. have just a little bit of a occasional lifter chatter on and off. Thanks for riding along.